Today on r/, am I the butthole? Am I being unreasonable for forcing my son to use a bidet and threatening to talk to his friends or take him to a doctor about his underwear? For some reason my 14-year-old son cannot properly wipe. This was never a concern to me as his mom did the laundry. Unfortunately, she's sick right now, so I've taken over the household chores that she used to handle. My son is still responsible for his, and I do mine as well as hers. First day I did the laundry, I gagged and almost puked from his underwear. If he were 3 and not fully potty trained, I might understand how they ended up like this. But he's a healthy young man. He should not be leaving his butt this unwiped. So I talked to him about it and he said he'd make an effort to do a better job. Nope. No changes in the situation. So I went to the hardware store and I installed a wand bidet in the bathroom he uses. We already have one in ours. I told him that he either had the choice of using the bidet or washing his own underwear. He doesn't know how to use the washing machine and he refuses to do them by hand. He started going commando, which just meant the problem is in his genes now. So I said we might need to go to the doctor and see what's wrong with him, if it's physical or psychological. I also said that next time that his friends were over, I was going to ask them if they left their underwear in the same condition. I would never actually embarrass him like that. I really just wanted to scare some sense into him, but he said I was being the jerk, and he called his mom and told her what I was gonna do. She said that he was just like that, and that I could deal with it until she was better. I really don't think that's a great plan. If this kid never learns how to wipe his butt, he'll never get a girlfriend unless they have a poop fetish. I'm not kink shaming him if that's his thing. He started using the bidet, but he says it's gross and weird. I said it's grosser and weirder for a 14-year-old to crap his pants every day. We're both stressed about his mom, but the situation isn't because of her. I asked her, OP, you are not being unreasonable. This is insane. I can't believe your wife is coddling your poopy pants 14-year-old. This just doesn't make sense to me. Not only are you not being unreasonable, but this is an actual health hazard. Your wife might be getting sick because of this. Well, I don't think so, but maybe. It's just gross. Am I being unreasonable? I didn't attend my son's wedding. I instead spent the evening with his ex-wife. Quick backstory. After graduating high school, my son moved 3 states away for college. At 19, he married a girl that he'd met. I tried convincing him to wait because personally I felt he was too immature. They both dropped out and moved back here to his hometown. At 20, they had their first child, a beautiful little girl. 16 months later, my daughter-in-law gave birth to their second child, a little boy. After the first baby, my wife noticed that our daughter-in-law wasn't happy. We both thought it was postpartum depression related, but just after the second child arrived, my son and his wife separated. She'd bring the kids over to visit, and then she began unloading on us. I know there's 3 sides to every story, but considering I know my son, I believed her. I sat my son down numerous times to speak with him regarding his marriage. He refused to take any responsibility, blamed her for everything, even when I directly pointed out where he was solely the problem. They got into counseling. For a year, things were okay on the surface. Our daughter-in-law filed for divorce. My son 3 days later was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. My son had forced his then wife to become a permanent stay-at-home mom at the birth of their first child. She of course had no other family or friends here. She knew nobody aside from him. She had nowhere to go with 2 small children. Without telling my son, my wife and I had financially helped her and got her into an apartment. Before the divorce was even finalized, we received a wedding invitation. I made it clear to my son I would not be attending, and they would not have my blessing. His mother told him that she would see to it that I would attend. I stayed consistent in my decision. I also asked him not to bring his fiance around our house, just out of respect for the mother of his children. The wedding happened on February 11th. The night before, my wife gave me the final push. I did not attend though. Our daughter also didn't attend for the same reason. My wife picked up our grandkids, got them dressed, and attended the wedding. My daughter and I decided to spend the evening with his ex. I couldn't imagine her sitting alone while her kids attended their father's wedding. She was taken aback that I didn't end up attending his wedding. We took her out to distract her mind. I just wanted to show her that she would always be considered family to us. My daughter also made the joke that they can drop the in-law status and just be sisters now. She was very tearfully grateful. I just realized how badly she needed our support, and specifically on that night. The next morning, my son called to tell me how much of a horrible father I am for not attending his wedding. A few days later, he caught wind that I spent the wedding with his ex. He said that it was the ultimate form of betrayal, and further myself and his sister would have to earn our relationship with him on his terms only. Update. First, I'd sincerely like to thank each and every one of you for your support, encouragement, and all the awards. I know without a doubt I did the right thing. I even feel differently now. His mother shouldn't have attended either, but we can't go back and undo that. So, my son saw the post. I'd sent my daughter the link yesterday so she could read the comments. This morning she texted me at work, "Dad, you went viral!" But anyways, he He sent the screenshots of the post and all the comments to his mom, and he told her, quote, "He's dead to me now." Time will tell if he means that. I'm sure he'll see this update too. For that reason, I'm positively certain that the second he needs another cash loan, I won't be dead to him anymore. His mom told him, quote, "Your children have to be your #1 priority. They're not just some disposable item you can leave behind when one chapter of your life closes." Maybe one day he'll understand that. To start off, OP, with that kind of title, you really had me going. I really thought you were being unreasonable. But after reading the story, I really agree with you. Your son really needs to take responsibility for his actions and stop being so immature and just leaping headfirst into random decisions. His kids must come first. Will I be unreasonable for moving out when my parents ask me to pay rent? I'm 23, oldest of 5 siblings, and I'm a full-time student. I also have a part-time job in my field, but when I complete my degree, my employer will take me on full-time. I make enough part-time to pay for school and put money aside. My siblings range from 20 to 10. Both of our parents work full-time. I've taken a lot of responsibilities for keeping everything running in the house. I do the grocery shopping, the laundry, as well as making suppers and doing meal prep for everybody who has lunches ready to take for every day. I also get all my siblings to do their part with regards to household chores. For example, my youngest brother is responsible for feeding and walking the dogs, so I make sure there's dog food in the storage and poop bags on the leash. My dad works very long hours, and my mom works 9 to 5 at a very hard job. Over Christmas, I had a chance to buy a PS5 for myself, so I did. The rest of the family is still using a shared PS4. I keep mine in my room, and I do not share. My parents started feeling complaints from my oldest brother about how I make so much money, and I don't share things that I buy for myself. That's totally true. So they had a talk with me where they brought this up. I pointed out how much housework I did. They said it still wasn't fair that I was earning so much money and I still wasn't contributing. And then they told me how much was actually expected of me. So I went in my room and I did the math. If I gave them what they wanted, I'd only have $800 a month left over. But if I dropped a couple classes next semester, I could go full-time with my employer. And then I'll only need 1 more year till I graduated with my 2nd degree. But then I could afford my own place and I'd have more free time and disposable income. So I packed up and moved out. Everything I owned fit in 1 car. I stayed in an Airbnb for 2 weeks till I could get everything sorted out, apartment, school, and work, but it was great. I'm not gonna lie, I may have went a little overboard with Tinder. I couldn't have a woman over at my parents' house. I just moved into my own apartment. I'm staying part-time until I finish this semester. I'll work full-time over the summer and then light class load / higher workload in the fall. My older brother has been tasked by my parents to do everything that I used to do. His chores has been split up between the other 3. They're all super upset at me for moving out. My parents are upset that I left them in such a lurch. My siblings are upset that they have to do more chores. My older brother is especially salty because he has no free time to see his girlfriend, and she isn't allowed in the house when my parents aren't home. Me, on the other hand, I'm enjoying my free time. I brought myself a plant from IKEA. I feel bad for screwing them over, but it doesn't make sense for me to do all that work and pay rent on top. OP, I definitely don't think you're in the wrong here. If you have enough money and you want to move out and you think it's going to be a better opportunity for you, go ahead and do it. Don't feel bad for it at all. However, OP, I don't think anyone's really wrong in this situation. It is your parents' house, so if they want to make you pay rent, they can make you pay rent. But they did give you such short notice and you did leave on such short notice, so depending on how upset they are, I don't really think that they're in the wrong. And like I said, neither are you, OP. Your siblings, I can get why they would be upset because they have to do extra work, but you've done that work for a really long time and you deserve your out. It's about time that they put in their share. Hopefully they'll get over it eventually and everything will settle down. Except maybe one person. You know who might be the jerk? Your brother. How can you be 20 years old and complaining to your parents that your brother has a new PS5? Like, get a job. Am I being unreasonable for telling my fiance that my friend's trauma is more important than her comfort? My friend lost a parent a 1.5 years ago, which led him into a mental health crisis. Our friend group has been picking up the pieces ever since. He's doing much better now, and he's in therapy, but he's definitely gone through it. What has complicated matters worse is my fiance. It goes without saying that I love her, but she's the definition of a busybody sometimes. My best friend is a very private person. She knows something has happened with him, but she doesn't know the details of what that something is. She probably never will. But because she's around me and my friends often, as we live in the same house, she hears bits and pieces of the story and presses for more information. I try and circumvent this as best as I can. For example, I step out of the room for more specific phone conversations, but still it's hard to limit the discussion about it sometimes. If it's necessary, we bring it up if she's around in person, but we refer to it as, quote, the Noah situation without giving specifics. No one will stop by my place at night when he can't sleep. This doesn't happen at all often, maybe twice a month. He'll text me or call saying he's outside. I'll go sit with him and maybe smoke a little bit, then he'll head home. I'll wait up until I know he's got home safely, then I'll go back to sleep. My fiance hates this. She claims the phone calls always wake her up. They don't. She just sometimes happens to wake up for the bathroom when I'm outside, and that me not being in the bed is alarming. This brings us to last night. Nolan stopped by, and when I came back inside, my fiance said that she was putting, quote, a stop to it. She said that all the sneaking around is making her paranoid. She doesn't feel like she can properly trust me or be a part of my friend group without knowing the details, and that Nolan needs to stop relying on me so much. I told her that no matter whether we're married, dating, or whatever, she will never have any ownership over my friend's trauma, and that she's never going to be able to order me around in regards to it. I also said that her comfort is less important than someone's actual physical well-being. She was obviously hurt by this and went to go stay with her mom today. Am I being unreasonable? Edit, she knows that Nolan lost a parent. She doesn't know the aftermath beyond the statement that he had a mental health crisis. Yes, he has specifically asked me not to tell her. Edit 2. This is not something that we, quote, constantly talk about in front of her. I'm just giving examples of what happened over the past year and a half. OP, yes, I do think you're being unreasonable, but I think this comment down below sums it up best. You are being unreasonable. Imagine everyone talking code around you, your fiance stepping out to make phone calls, and having secret meetups in the middle of the night that you can't talk about. Being excluded, it made to wonder what degree it would make anyone crazy. If she came here, I'd tell her to leave you immediately. If you've gotten this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoy our content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.